Hi guys, today I am back to film the perfect palette tag. It wasn't tagged by anyone specifically, but a lot of beauty YouTubers have done this, and when they're done they're kind of like, if you feel like doing this tag, you should do it too. So I decided to do it because I thought this was a good way to get kind of a brief review of palettes. And I always like to see these too because I feel like it's a good way, like I said, to just get kind of a quick little review on the palette and what people think of it. So I am just reading the questions off of Temptalia's blog post that she did a while ago. And the first one is best packaging. So hers, when I kind of read hers, it seemed like she was doing more like what would be, like, I don't know, the one that she did is the Bare Minerals palette, and she's saying it's just the right size, it's slim, it's compact. I kind of did more design-wise what was my favorite one, and for me that is the Urban Decay Vice 2. I love this floral print. I love the Urban Decay logo. It's just really, really pretty, and my eye is always drawn to this palette because of the packaging. But I do like that it is not super thick and bulky. It's not super sleek either, but you know, it's not, I don't think it's too bulky. And I also like that when you open it, the mirror does pop up and stand up on its own. I think packaging wise that's pretty nice. And the other thing that I really do like is that Urban Decay always gives you kind of a slot to leave your brush in there, or you could even pop the brush out and put an eyeliner in there, which makes it kind of nice for traveling and stuff too. But I just think that this is a really nice palette. I love the design of it. So packaging wise, I think this is my favorite. Next is best color payoff. And I feel like all of these palettes have pretty good color payoff. It's just that there was trying to think of like one in particular that was like just really amazing and really wowed me and impressed me. And for me, that is the Sigma Warm Neutrals palette. When this came out, I think Sigma had only done like 2 or 3 palettes, and I kind of didn't know how to feel about it because Sigma is a brush company. And I was kind of like, you know, I don't know how easy it is to go from making makeup brushes to makeup, so I don't really know. But I just kind of felt like they make brushes, like how good are these eyeshadows gonna be? And one of my favorite beauty YouTubers, that girl ShayXO, had done a tutorial with this, and I just really loved the look that she came up with, and I decided to go ahead and get it. My expectations, I'm not gonna lie, were pretty low, but this palette completely blew me away, pigmentation, color payoff wise. I would say all of them are really, really pigmented, like one swipe and that's really all you need, and they're super, super pigmented. One shadow in here that's kind of not is this one right here. It just doesn't really show up much on me. But otherwise the rest of them are super pigmented and super great. I think they're probably, in my opinion, the perfect eyeshadow. They're super creamy, super blendable, and like I said, really great color payoff. So next is, let's see, number 3 is most versatile. This was hard for me because there are a ton of palettes, in my opinion, that are very versatile. You can get everything from a no makeup look to a very smoky dark eye. So I kind of went, I didn't want to pick the same palette for that question, even though there is one or two palettes I feel like really cover that whole thing. But I went with the Lorac Pro 2 palette because to me this is really nice because you can again kind of go from a no makeup look to even some like kind of brighter pops of color, and then anything, you know, smoky or dark you can also do with this palette. Plus it's very nice that it has that whole row of shimmers and then the whole row of mattes on top of that. It makes it really easy to, you know, kind of pick and choose what you want to do. Next is best for traveling. I was going to say my Naked palette, but I realized that when I do travel with that one, I tend to worry a little bit about it because it's a magnetic closure, and anything with a magnetic closure, I worry that the magnet is going to like give out, or it's just not going to work. It's not going to stay shut. So to me, the Smoked palette is the best for traveling, like packaging wise, because it zips shut. So I just feel like the eyeshadows are really secure in there. Nothing is going to, like, when it zips shut, nothing's going to pry in here and open it up. So packaging wise, I think this one is best for traveling. If I had to go with what would be best for traveling, like if I was going on a trip and could only take one palette, it would definitely be my Naked palette. I've taken that one to Vegas with me. I've taken it, I'm trying to think of where else I went. I can't really think right now, but I've taken it with me on several trips, and it's the only palette I feel like I really need, because I can get everything from, again, a no makeup look to a dark smoky eye. So I really, really love that one. Like I said, for if I needed to take one palette for traveling. Biggest regret. This one was kind of hard because I do pretty much like all of the palettes in my collection, but I would have to say it is this Tarte palette box set from last Christmas, from 2013. Yes, 2013. Going on the eyeshadows alone is kind of what the regret is for me. The blushes that are in here, I'm going to take this sheet off. This god-awful sheet is part of the regrets. The blushes in here are amazing. They're the awesome Tarte Amazonian Clay blushes that Tarte always has, but the shadows are just a little... They swatch horribly, but on the lid they do come out a little bit better, but they're also not the most creamy or pigmented eyeshadows I've ever used, and I just find that I don't really reach for it, and I think that some of that is because of this huge box packaging, the sheet on top. Like, it's just kind of not something I reach for. So I regret it a little bit because I don't reach for it. I am going to try taking the shadows out and putting them in a Z palette and see if that helps a little bit, if maybe I'll use them a little bit more. But I still think I kind of regret it because, I don't know, I'm just not a huge fan of some of the shadows in there. Best color names. There's kind of two for this one, and that's kind of funny because the other one is the Tarte Holiday set from 2014. I think that this was really cute color-wise, and the box, in my opinion, is a lot better than that one. I mean, it's still a really thick box, but it's better. But the color names are really cute because they kind of all have like a little French theme. The box set is actually the Away We Go set, and we is spelt, you know, in the French way. O-U-I, I almost said O-W-I. But the color names are really cute. They're like Private Chateau, Cafe for Creme Brulee, Tea for Two, Marble to Mona Lisa, Eiffel Tower Engagement. So it's got really cute names. And the other one that I really liked is this Bare Minerals Power Neutrals palette. And it's kind of got like some, I don't know, cute names like Boss Lady, Exec, Payday, Get Ahead, Moneymaker. And it's kind of a nice neutral palette. I try to hold the little brush in there, but I just thought the names of this one were really, really cute too. So it's hard to pick between those two, and I just decided, let's do both of them. Next is least used. Least used is this Tarte Rainforest After Dark set. I think when I bought this, I got a little bit kind of maybe suckered into the face products, and again with these awful over sheets. But anyways, I think I kind of got suckered into the face products, the highlighter, the bronzer, the blush. They're awesome. And I actually really like these two shadows, but everything else is pretty close to something else that I have in another palette. The golds over here reminds me a lot of Half Baked. These two brown matte shades are just, I don't know, nothing special. They're things like I said, have other palettes. This shade here was just kind of weird, but again, actually something I have in other palettes. It's just kind of a light dusty pink. So this is definitely my least used. I feel like I really used it maybe like a lot the week that I got it, and I used a little bit this last, well, a little bit more later in the fall, but otherwise I just really haven't used this much. So next is most used, and I feel like this is not going to be a surprise. Obviously my Urban Decay Naked palette. This is obviously in my Pan That palette / Project Pan for this year, but even before that, Virgin was completely gone. Well, that's Gunmetal. Virgin was completely gone. Sin was pretty close to hitting Pan, so I feel like even without Project Pan, this is still my most used palette. And it's also probably one of my favorites. I love this one for traveling and for everything. It's kind of a good coverall. It's got good pigmentation and everything, so it's just one of my favorites. Most loved. While I could easily say the Naked palette again for this one, I am going to choose something different. I'm going to choose the Vice 3 palette. The reason I would say this is my most loved is because I haven't had this palette that long. It came out in like October, I think, and I am just obsessed with this palette. A lot of palettes, I look at them and I'm kind of like, like you either feel inspired or you kind of don't, I guess. And this one, I always feel inspired to do something with it. I just really like that it has a whole row of matte neutrals, so you could do like a no makeup look, or they're really great for blending out some of the more colorful shadows. And then you have this whole row of dark, smoky, kind of neutrally shades over here. I love this one so much. It's got bright pops of color, but it's also got some neutrals in there. You can just do anything and everything, I feel like, with this palette. So this is definitely my most loved because I haven't had it that long, and it's just the palette that I would probably use every day forever. So, and then lastly is Desert Island. I could easily say this, I could easily say my Naked palette, but I did try to pick something a little different than another palette that I really like. And I can't actually really hold mine up because I don't know if you can see that, but mine is just covered in eyeshadow. But it is the Morphe Brushes eyeshadow palette with Jaclyn Hill, her Jaclyn Hill Favorites one. This is another one that I think has maybe some similar colors to the Vice 2 palette or Vice 3 palette in it. But I just feel like that one I could come up with so many different looks and just love them all. It's a really great palette, and I wish I could open it and show you guys, but that eyeshadow is broke and it's everywhere. So, and then I did want to add one more question kind of on my own, and it's, what is your oldest palette and what is your newest one? My oldest one is obviously my Urban Decay Naked. I didn't purchase this right when it came out, but I purchased it like a month or two because I don't know if anybody remembers buying this when it first came out, but it was so hard to get. Like, it took a couple months of Urban Decay, like, you know, production to get caught up with the demand for this. So this is obviously my oldest one because I did get it a couple months after it came out, and I'm obviously working on using it up, but I really, really do love that palette. And then my newest one is the Jaclyn Hill Morphe one, but it's also this one. I just got this the other day. It's the Soul Mattes by Pure Minerals. If you like the Naked 3 palette but want some more matte shadows, this one I think would be a really great one to get because it's kind of got those pretty pinky mauve shades, and it also has this like really pretty warm brown in here too. So this is my newest palette, and you guys will probably see this a lot more in February because I do plan on using it a little bit more then. There's just some other stuff I want to finish up for January. So that is it, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tag. I hope it kind of helped you get a little bit of an idea of what palettes are really good and some ones that maybe aren't so great. So anyways, I will see you guys next time. Bye!